Good morning, everyone. Calling to order the Board of Commissioners in our scheduled business meeting. It's August 2nd, 2022. The time is 8:30. Present with us this morning is Commissioner Derek DeGroot, Commissioner Dave Hensley, and myself, Commissioner Kelly Minty. If everyone would please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sandy, do we have any changes to the agenda to note this morning?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Item 13.1 for Extension Service District has been added.
All right. Thank you for that, and thank you for the addition. Why don't we move into public comment? As a reminder, folks have 90 seconds to provide public comment. We do have one person signed up. Alan, come on up.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to read two paragraphs here from the statement. Background: Kennedy, David Hensley, the sitting commissioner, Kelly Mindy Morris, and Derek DeGroot, and Klamath County Clerk Rochelle Long were informed multiple times that former Police Chief Hensley was named in a federal lawsuit and may have liabilities from a previous position, which he might have not resolved by the end of the race. All the above ignored the facts and may have violated their oaths of office to uphold the Oregon Constitution to the voters of Klamath County, and by declaring Hensley the front runner and appointing Hensley to the Commissioner one position after swearing Hensley into office before his case had due process. Please explain to the voters of Klamath County if we are misguided in the line of thought and call for action regarding how the facts of Hensley's situation are not in violation of the intent of the Oregon Constitution, Section 2, Article 11. County elected officials have not been transparent to all the voters of the above facts. A carefully drafted press release from the Secretary of State would be appreciated about your position given the current developments in the direction of this case to date in the commissioner race, which may not be over or settled yet. Due process has to be rendered to the voters of Klamath County along with the accused. It is the fabric that makes up our justice system in America. I'd like to submit this into evidence in the county meeting. Thank you. And y'all have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Alan.
All right, we'll move into item 5.1. These are meeting minutes from last week.
See you next week.
Acceptable to the board. Are meeting minutes from last week acceptable for this?
They're fantastic.
Okay, so we'll move into item 6.1. This is the matter of monthly employee service awards. We want to recognize 5 years of Elizabeth Mitchell and Rita White at the Juvenile Department, 10 years for Jessica Dale at Public Health and Wes Packer at the Sheriff's Office, and 15 years for Liliana Mendoza at the library. Thank you to all these employees for your service to the citizens of Klamath County. We'll move into item 7.1. This is an item considered previously approved. That means it was approved in a public meeting, but we like to read it into the record for this meeting. This particular item was approved on July 12th, 2022. This is the matter of approving Public Health to submit an application to the Downtown Association for a booth at Third Thursday. Health promotion and conducting community outreach is an essential component of Klamath County Public Health's work, so they are having a booth at Third Thursday to use the diverse and large crowd as an opportunity to meet community members to provide them with public health resources. Again, there was a motion made in an administrative meeting on July 12th to allow for that with a fiscal impact of $35. We do have a time certain at 8:45 that I'll make sure that we get to appropriately, but I will skip us around a little bit to utilize the time in between now and then. So now I will move us into item 9.1. This is under bids and proposals, and it comes out of code enforcement.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Rick Vaughn, Klamath County Code Enforcement Manager. This one before you is a matter of accepting a quote from American Made Enterprises for abatement and cleanup at 2847 Laverne. This is a property we've worked on for a couple years. And we got quotes for the abatement and cleanup, and American Made submitted a quote for $8,000 for the cleanup, $5,000 for dump fees, and $6,000 towing, for approximately a total of $19,000. And the cleanup was completed and invoiced on 7/5/22 for $23,266.67.
I'll make a motion, we accept the quote from American Made Enterprises for abatement and cleanup of 2847 Laverne, Klamath Falls. Fiscal impact is $23,266.67 expenditure from the Violation Reserve Fund, Code Enforcement Department.
Second?
We have a motion that's been made and seconded. Do we have questions for the director on this item?
It's one of our largest eyesores after the, current eyesores that we had. We've been through a few of these, so I appreciate the hard work trying to keep our community cleaned up. That's what we set up that fund for. So then we will seek reimbursement from the property owner, I'm assuming?
Correct, and I apologize, I'm out of order on how this was done. I should have been to you before with the actual quote prior to the cleanup being done. But like I said, this is one we've been working on with, this is actually Nationwide Mortgage for 2 years. And we finally got to this point. So yes, now we will, in fact, I've already sent the bill to the property owner. Once they have their 30 days to reimburse us for the bill, yes, then we'll place a lien on the properties.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, hearing no other discussion, let's vote. All in favor signify with an aye, please.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Do you have any additional items?
We've got the 13.1, the extension
Oh.
service,
Okay.
the
Okay.
MOA with the extension service
Yeah,
district.
so why don't I recess us from the commissioners' regular meeting to open the Extension Service District meeting, where we just do have that one item, 13.1.
Was I supposed to do this one, or were you?
You guys can tag team it. If we need Vicky, Vicky can come up. Or would you like Vicky to come
No,
up?
you
and do it?
want
Okay.
me to present it? Okay, it's the, background on this is the Klamath County Extension Service District purchased the property at 7201 and 7209 South 6th in 2019 to build a new facility for the extension service. And it was found to be too expensive, so we had the land purchased. The county will donate the property to Klamath Community College to allow the construction of a child care center.
I'll make a motion, we approve and sign a memorandum of agreement for the purchase of property located at 7201 and 7209 South 6th Street from the Klamath County Extension Service District, and approve the donation of said property to Klamath Community College. Fiscal impact is $215,000 expenditure from the American Rescue Plan Fund.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second now. Do we have any discussion, comments, questions?
I don't necessarily have a question, but I do have a comment. I think this is an excellent project. This is a void in our community when we're talking about healthcare. This is a significant void in our community. We see a lot of working families that are struggling to find good healthcare and affordable healthcare and appropriate healthcare, I keep saying healthcare, childcare, I'm sorry. And I think this is a great way to fill that void and really help our community out. So I'm very supportive and excited for this project.
Yeah, and I would add to that was well said. I would just add
Other
to
than
that.
healthcare.
Yeah, right. I was sitting there going, is he going to catch that?
So you're gonna keep
This is, not having childcare is a barrier to employment, and we do have a workforce issue in this county, and we need people that can get out and work, and if they don't have childcare, working parents can't do that. So I'm just really pleased to be able to help with this project, and it was the proverbial win-win, right? Because OSU Extension was needing to make changes there. So glad that we were able to connect some dots, and thank you to your department for your work on that. Anything else before we vote?
No, just mention, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about people working together in the community to find the need, fill the need, and try to move the community forward. This is an example of just partnerships, working together, and great leadership, so.
All right, so hearing no other discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion passes. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Vaughn. So I'll exit us from the OSU Extension District meeting to reopen the Commissioners' regularly scheduled meeting. I will move us into item 11.1.
Sure. So this is a matter of MOU for participation in the Oregon Timber Counties Coalition. The OTCC is an organization comprised of counties whose economies and cultures have for generations been directly linked to the health and management of the national forest in Oregon. Impediments to public access, large stand replacement fires, unsustainable increases in fuel, declining revenues for counties, and burdensome, time-consuming rules and regulations are just a sample of current conditions on many of our national forests. In an effort to address these and other issues, OTCC is committed to work with and support congressional members, forest supervisors, staff, and employees to accelerate the pace and scale of projects, proposals, and plans that will increase the productivity and overall health of Oregon's national forests. The focus will be, but not limited to, the receipt of timber harvest receipts and other revenues for counties, public access to public lands, and the county's involvement with forest management decisions and any other issues that may arise. I'd make a motion that we approve and authorize Commissioner DeGroot to sign, myself, the attached MOU for our participation in the OTCC. Fiscal impact is an expenditure of $15,000 from the general fund, non-departmental.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for consideration. Any discussion before we vote?
I just mentioned, so this is a coalition that was put together between Coos, Curry, Douglas, Klamath, Lynn, Marion, Polk, and Tillamook counties, where we're working specifically on issues related to Forest Service lands and the lack of timber management and revenues to counties that we enjoyed for decades, years and years and years, and just haven't as of late. I'd say we are developing good strategies. We've been at this for a little over a year now, and are hoping to put some things into action, starting with the next Congress.
All right. Hearing no other comments, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion passes. And you know what, Vicki, why don't we do your item? I think we can fit that in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is in the matter of approving agreements from the Klamath County Domestic Well Financial Assistance Grant Program. Here are 9 agreements that need to be signed. These are 9 homeowners that have remediated their well difficulties, and they are ready for reimbursement from the grant.
I'll move that we approve and sign the Klamath County Domestic Well Financial Assistant Grant Agreements with the above recipients, a fiscal impact of $137,108.96 expenditure from the Commissioner Miscellaneous Grant Fund.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for consideration. Do we have questions for finance?
I don't.
All right, hearing no questions, let's vote. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Thank you, Vicki. So we are right about at our time for our public hearing. It is 8:45. If you're following along in the agenda, this is item 8.1. Well, first I'll make the motion to set the hearing. As some background, ORS 475A.718 allows the governing body of a county to adopt an ordinance to be referred to the electors of the county at the next statewide general election to determine whether to prohibit the establishment of, say it for me, psilocybin. I don't know why I can't get that word.
Yes, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm going to make a point to myself. Psilocybin. Psilocybin product manufacturers and psilocybin service center operators. Any prohibition on psilocybin approved by the electors will only apply to the unincorporated areas of Klamath County and will not impact psilocybin operators or businesses within the city limits. The proposed ordinance is attached. Today is the final hearing for taking testimony. I will move that we hold this final hearing to take public testimony, if any, on the proposed ordinance. The publication cost is to the Herald and News for the hearings of $142.80.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made and seconded. Any questions on the hearing? Hearing none. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Okay, Chair votes aye, motion passes. So now I will formally open the hearing. Again, it's Tuesday, August 2nd. The time now is August 2nd, 2022. The time now is 8:45. We have all three commissioners here. This is to take public comment on the psilocybin product manufacturing and service center ordinance 95.00. We do not have a staff report this morning, so I'll jump right into the ability for public testimony. I don't believe we have anyone in the room, but I'll call anyway, and nobody on Zoom either. Okay, so I will give the opportunity, anyone who's here to provide testimony in support, anyone from a neutral perspective, or anyone who's here to provide comments against. Okay, hearing none, I will close the hearing. I do not believe we need to have an additional hearing. This was our second hearing. Yes, Sandy? Okay. So no additional hearing is required, so I will move us into item 8.1. This is Ordinance 95, the psilocybin product manufacturers and service center operators. The BOCC has now held 2 public hearings for the taking of testimony and consideration. The final ordinance is attached and will be sent to the Oregon Health Authority. The question of whether or not to prohibit psilocybin product manufacturers and service center operators will be referred to the electors of unincorporated Klamath County on November 8, 2022. I'll move that the BOCC sign the attached Ordinance 95, referring the question of whether or not to prohibit psilocybin product manufacturers and service center operators to the electors of unincorporated Klamath County. No fiscal impact.
Second.
All right, we have a motion now for consideration. Any questions, thoughts, comments?
So I might just reiterate, I spoke about this when we had our first hearing. Folks can just refer to the results of the election when the measure was passed to allow this statewide in Klamath County. It failed by over 60%. So over 60% of the voters in Klamath County said, no, we don't want that here. So this is a referral back to the voters to establish the rules outlined in this ordinance. I would encourage the 5 incorporated areas within Klamath County to do the same. We're just looking at putting it back to the voters to decide where and how we want these types of drugs allowed into our community. And I think that the voters of Klamath County have already spoken very clearly that they just don't want it here. And it's our duty to respect that and make sure they are able to have their voice heard again and place these rules firmly in our ordinances.
Any other questions, comments?
No, I think that was very well said. I think it's our job as commissioners to make sure that we're abiding by the will of the people, and Klamath County voted this down at the state election. So I think this is the right thing to do and let the people decide. So this was a good step for the commission to move forward. I believe this is our duty to proceed in this direction.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. So hearing no other discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Now I'll move us into resolutions. Item 10.1. This is a resolution setting 2 public hearing dates on proposed revisions to Klamath County Code Chapter 403. Klamath County animal control operations have been placed within the Sheriff's Office for management and oversight. The BOCC desires to have revisions made to Chapter 403 on the county code to reflect the change and to add provisions for the handling of dogs involved in livestock violations. The attached resolution sets the first hearing for Tuesday, August 23, 2022 at 8:45, and the final hearing is set for September 6, 2022 at 8:45. I'll make a motion that the BOCC approve and sign the attached resolution setting those 2 public hearing dates on the proposed code revisions. No fiscal impact.
Second.
We have a motion now. Any discussion before I call the question? Okay. All in favor signify with an aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Now we'll move into items 11.2, 11.3, and 11.4, all originating from the assessor's office. Come on. Is that you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we are asking for approval of a 5-year extension for a contract between Klamath County and Helion Software for an extension for our personnel services. It would push it's one of two mutual 5-year extensions that we had as an option to the original contract, and would extend the terms of the contract out to June 30th of 2027.
I'll make a motion, we approve amendment pursuant to Klamath County contract and personal services between Klamath County and Helion Software, Inc. for contractor services to mutually extend the terms of this contract for an additional 5-year term, no fiscal impact.
Second.
All right, we have a motion now for consideration. Do we have questions for the assessor's office?
I do not.
Okay, let's vote then, guys. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Next item.
Okay, the second one is for also an extension, a 5-year extension to our contract between Klamath County and Helion Software for our contract for purchase of goods and services. Option of 2 5-year extensions. This is the first one, and would extend the contract out to June 30th of 2027, and there's no fiscal impact.
I'll make a motion, we approve the amendment pursuant to Klamath County contract for purchase of goods and services between Klamath County and Helion Software for software license to mutually extend the terms of this contract for an additional 5-year term, no fiscal impact.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for consideration, very similar motion. All in favor signify with an aye, please.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. And your final item.
Okay, the final item is for an extension for 5 years for our contract between Klamath County and Helion Software for ongoing personal services. There is a fiscal impact for this one. It's broken down. Do you want me to read how it's? No?
I'll make a motion, we
Thank
approve the
you.
amendment pursuant to Klamath County contract for personal services between Klamath County and Helion Software, personal services to mutually extend the terms of this contract for an additional 5-year term. Fiscal impact of $123,578, and that breaks down to $42,700 from tax, $32,025 from property sales, and $48,853 from the assessor for ORCAT support contract 2022-2023.
Second.
Okay, motion's on the table now. Any questions for the assessor's office?
No.
No.
All right, let's vote then. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Thank you for being with us
Thank
this
you.
morning. Okay, the remainder of our items are all out of Public Works. We'll start with 11.6. We'll just go right down. You're going to get your practice reading this morning. And so are you, sir.
Yeah.
Morning. Michael Zarazinski, Klamath County Public Works, County Engineer, filling in for the Public Works Director today. In the matter of 11.6 as background, this is an agreement between Federal Highway Administration, Western Federal Lands, and Klamath County for the West Side Road Chip Seal Project. As background, on February 27th, 2018, the Board of County Commissioners approved the agreement documenting the intent of Klamath County to meet its match requirements for the West Side Road Chip Seal Project under the Federal Lands Access Program FLAP grant. The attached agreement allows Klamath County Public Works to begin the work and bill against the cooperative grant agreement. Additional commentary, this grant's already been awarded, and this is just the next step to move it forward.
I'll make a motion that the Klamath County Board of Commissioners approve and authorize the chair to sign the agreement between Federal Highway Administration, the Western Federal Lands Highway Division, and Klamath County for the West Side Road Chip Seal Project under the Federal Lands Access Program. Fiscal impact is $167,250, which is a match funds utilizing in-kind labor, equipment, and materials to the Public Works Federal Road budget. The grant revenue is expected to be $526,046.
Second.
Right, we have a motion now for consideration. Any discussion before I call?
Yeah, great work to the department, bringing in additional revenues to help take care of our roads. Appreciate the work.
Agreed.
Yes.
All right, all in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. 11.7.
So 11.7 is, if we can all just remember what we just discussed in 11.6. So we'll just say ditto with the addendum that this is for the Clover Creek Chip Seal Project.
Yeah, I wish I could say ditto, but I feel like I should probably read it in. So I'm going to make a motion that the Klamath County BOCC approve and authorize the chair to sign the agreement between Federal Highway Administration, the Western Federal Lands Highway Division, and Klamath County for the Clover Creek Chip Seal Project under the Federal Lands Access Program. The fiscal impact is $174,486. Again, these are this is money match funds utilizing in-kind labor, equipment, and materials to the Public Works Federal Road budget. Grant revenue is expected to be $476,209.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for consideration. Any questions or comments?
No, just for those keeping track, that's now $1 million brought in by the road department. Well done.
Hold on.
And I don't think we're done yet, are we?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right, I'll call the question now. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. 11.8.
11.8 is the matter of execution of the contract for personal services between Klamath County and Capital Asset and Payment Services to perform pavement management distress rating and subsequent follow-up reporting. And as background, this contract provides Capital Asset and Payment Services with funds to perform pavement inspections on half of the paved county road network, and then upload the data into the Street Saver software program currently being used by the Klamath County Public Works Department. Klamath County has approximately 750 miles of paved roads, and we utilize that data to track pavement condition index over time. It's also used to evaluate which roads are in need of upcoming maintenance work, and also used for us to report to ODOT as required by House Bill 2017. The 2020 Klamath County Contracting Policies and Procedures, Section 3.15, allows us to use direct appointment if the estimated fee is less than $50,000. This contract does meet that requirement, and we would just recommend approval of this as, and I guess just as a little filler in, it is a very important tool that we use for asset management on our roads.
I'll make a motion that the Klamath County BOC approve and execute the contract for personnel services between Klamath County and Capital Asset and Paving Services Incorporated to perform pavement management distress rating and subsequent follow-up reporting. Fiscal impact to the 2022 road operating budget not to exceed $24,500 and $24,900 for 2023.
Second.
All right, we have a motion now for consideration. Any questions of Public Works before we vote?
No.
Okay. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
Sure, that's okay. Chair votes aye, motion passes. And then we just have two items that fall under other related to the ADA pedestrian ramps and sidewalks. 12.1 is the first one.
Yes, so this is a matter of procuring right-of-way for the construction of ADA pedestrian ramps and sidewalks at the intersection of Shasta Way and Homedale Road. In 2021, we performed basically ramp replacement of non-compliant ADA ramps on Shasta Way. We also did that in 2020 for Homedale. Due to right-of-way constraints, some of the locations were unable to be completed during those projects, and this action will procure the land required to move those forward. As a little bit of additional commentary, the intersection is a fairly busy one, and it's a 3-lane section to where you can have traffic stacked up, and it makes the right turns or in from Shasta Way onto Homedale and even out a little bit more difficult. The reason we did not replace those ramps, we want to make those wider and make that intersection work better. And so this is going to help that function quite a bit better.
Quick question, does this project then flow or help flow into the project coming down the road later to do the sidewalks on Shasta on the north side from Homedale to the east?
This project will be included in that. They don't have a direct connection per se, but it will be all included in one project.
Okay, thank you.
I think when we get there and it's on Madison, it'll make a little better.
Yeah, I think you're right,
connection.
from Madison, okay. I'll make a motion that the Board of Klamath County Commissioners approve and sign the right-of-way dedication of approximately 112.5 square feet of real property and authorize payment of $560 to James Crawford for acquisition costs. The fiscal impact is $560. The expenditure will come from the Public Works operating budget.
Second.
All right, we have a motion now for consideration. There's no questions. I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. And finally, 12.2.
So 12.2, I'm going to cheat again, and essentially it is the same.
Chair approves of the use of the word ditto when necessary.
And again, just in the essence of time, it's the same situation, just a different side of the road.
So again, ditto. I'll make a motion that the Klamath County Board of Commissioners approve and sign the right-of-way dedication of approximately 112.5 square feet of real property and authorize payment of $500 to Thomas McNeese for acquisition costs. The fiscal impact is $500. It's an expenditure to the Public Works operating budget.
Second.
All right, we have a motion now. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Good to have you. With that concludes the business portion of our meeting. So we'll move into report outs. Commissioner Hensley, why don't you?
Ooh, I get
take
to go
us-
first today. All
You're not
right.
the new guy anymore.
I'm not. No, I'm not. So I have a couple things I want to talk about. One is good. So let's start with the good and fun one. Friday, I was able to go on a noxious weed tour. Jeremy Morris and Todd, remind me Todd's last name? Pfeiffer, that's right. Took me on a tour around Klamath County and gave me a really great education about noxious weeds and what they look like and how to identify them. And I was utterly impressed at Todd Pfeiffer and his knowledge. What he knows about our county and what he knows about weeds and some of the devastation those weeds are having on farmland and other properties was incredible. I was really taken back at how much he knew and how hard he and his team are working to protect our county. That's an incredible program. For the limited budget and the limited staffing that they have, they were working incredibly hard for the citizens of our county, and I was really impressed with them. So I just wanted to take a moment to tip my hat to Todd Pfeiffer and Jeremy Morris and the crew. Rick Vaughn went along with us as well, and code enforcement staff went. And I thought that we had a really good day. We got to know each other quite a bit better, and we shared a lot of things personally, professionally. And that was one of the best tours I've had at Klamath County so far. So tip my hat again to Todd Pfeiffer for that. That was incredible. The second thing I want to address is going to be kind of personal, and I'm going to do my best to not get animated, but I'm going to share it with Klamath County on the record, and everybody can go back and watch YouTube and watch it later if they would like. I was hired to be your police chief in 2015, and when I was hired to be the police chief, I was empowered to make significant changes in Klamath Falls for the betterment of our county, for our city, and for the people that live here. When I got hired, we were one of the top 10 worst places to live when it came to crime rates. And within a few years of my leadership as your police chief, we were ranked the 15th safest town in Oregon. I'm really proud at everything that myself and the staff at the Klamath Falls Police Department did to make Klamath Falls an incredible place to live, or make it a better place to live, I should say, because it was already an incredible place to live. But I'm very proud of everything I did. I'm extremely proud of every decision I made. And if I were to get hired again in 2015, I would do everything exactly the same way. So that being said, in the course of my duties as the police chief, I was named in a lawsuit. That happens to police officers on a daily basis. It's part of doing business. When police officers are named in a lawsuit, if the entity that employs them and the insurance company that carries their insurance believes that they have done nothing wrong, they are fully indemnified of the liabilities associated with that lawsuit. Through the course of my campaigning to be your Klamath County Commissioner, this came up many times from people that were running against me, opponents of mine in my campaign. We've got letters from the insurance company that shows that I have no liability in a lawsuit I'm named in, and we have shared that with attorneys, and everybody knows about it. I did that in the name of honesty, transparency, and maintaining the public's trust in me. So when people continue to attack my integrity, my honor, and the hard work that I did as the police chief, I find it extremely frustrating. And I have shared this message many times through my campaign, but I realize today that I probably haven't shared it on the record as your commissioner. So I wanted to tell you that today and let all of you know where I stood on that matter. I am proud of everything I have done and said. I take nothing back. And yes, I was named in a lawsuit, but I have zero liability in that lawsuit. I consider this matter over. I will not speak about it again. It is a pending lawsuit, and we are going through the motions to resolve that lawsuit. People are going to continue to come in and give their public comment, but I might warn people to know the facts before you say something that might put yourself in a position where you are purposely slandering someone. Situations like that do have a tendency to come back and bite people. So I'll leave it at that. And I consider this matter concluded.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner.
Very well said. You know, when you're put into a position as we are in this role, as you were as the chief of police, we get named in lawsuits all the time. I don't know how many you've had on. I've had several. It just is part of doing business, and when you're a public official. So where all this stuff comes from, sometimes I just worry about where people are at, where our country is at, quite frankly, looking for things that aren't there. Anyway, Friday I was able to go over to Medford and view some of the facilities that they have put together to try and address their homeless issue. Interesting stuff, and I'm going to think long and hard about how they've worked to address that. I know there's folks that would like to emulate pieces and or portions of what they've done over there, over here. Yeah, jury's still out. So we'll take a look at that maybe down the road as conversations progress. Other than that, I'll just leave it there.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I'll keep mine short and sweet as well. It is Fair Week, and there's been a lot of, improvements out at the fairgrounds. I know, it's exciting. Yep.
Super excited
Yep,
about
super
fair.
exciting. And there's just been, really congratulations should go out and thanks to our fairground staff, Director Rowley, Fair Board. I mean, they've just really worked to be taking the fairgrounds to the next level. And that's really important that none of us become complacent in what this community looks like, because this community is always evolving and is, as you said before, it's already a great community and a great place to live, and it can only improve. So congratulations to them, to all the work they're doing out there. Things like creating really the ability to have like a year-round open food court, which is something the community has always wanted, and several other changes as well. More RV parking, just things that really keep, again, taking us to the next level. So with that, thank you to the fairgrounds, and happy Fair Week. I'll adjourn us at 9:09.
Aye.
Yeah.